All right, everyone. U.S. District Judge Anareyes just decided to unilaterally block Trump from blocking transgender troops from entering the U.S. military. Now, I believe that one of the roles of the president is called being the commander-in-chief. Believe that he is effectively the dictator over the U.S. military. Now, sometimes this can be a problem, but this is the way that things work. Congress, by the way, has basically absolved itself of any responsibility. Apparently, you don't need to declare war anymore to actually wage a war. Here are my thoughts. Number one, it is constitutionally factual that the commander-in-chief, whether you like the commander-in-chief or not, like I didn't like Joe Biden, but he still commanded the military. The same is true of Donald Trump. He is the war leader. He appoints the generals. He can fire the generals. He should be able to fire literally anyone from the military at any time for any reason that he deems fit. That's the whole goal of having a commander-in-chief. Are the president's powers limited? Yes, especially with respect to the private marketplace, to the civilian population. But there are certain powers that a president enjoys, or in the case of Donald Trump, probably abhors actually, and thinks are terrible things because he can't get any credit for anything that he does. We'll be talking about SpaceX and the adjacency there later, by the way, with the astronauts. Donald Trump has that authority. The president can veto or pass a bill as duly put forward by Congress. A president is capable of engaging in diplomacy, engaging in trade deals, and commanding the goddamn military. Apparently, this judge believes that the judiciary is more well geared towards managing the U.S. military. That's a great idea. The military became decrepit under Joe Biden, and partially because young brawny dudes that otherwise would have joined up said, this is fucking shit now. It's no longer cool. It's not cool to be a combat veteran anymore because I'm gonna have to serve with a bunch of people that have to dilate in the foxhole and stuff like that. And the funny thing is that it's almost an acknowledgement of two genders when you really think about it. By the way, judge appointed by a Democrat, check. Judge is LGBTQ plus MAP 123, check. Judge is a longtime liberal activist, check. Oh, I'm so surprised about the specific court that they went before to try to cock block the transgender ban. Now, let's say you have two groups of transgender people. It's very funny because, again, gender is binary in nature. You have male to female and female to male. Let's say it's male to female. The problem is that while you're male, and so you have those physiological advantages that would, you know, necessarily make you better on a battlefield. Sorry, gals, but you just don't have the same muscle mass that men on average have. You're going to have to literally dilate your bonus hole. That might somewhat deteriorate your combat readiness now, wouldn't it? You're training in, hey, sorry, Sergeant. I have to go to the bathroom for the next 30 minutes because otherwise my, you know, inverted penis will close up and there'll be a real big problem. So that's the group number one. Group number two, female to male. Okay, well, you're taking testosterone, you're building more muscle mass. I don't give a shit if you have an arm cock or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. By the way, I have no problem with transgendered people or cross-dressers or anyone with a paraphilia or other, thing going on. I don't care who you fuck, how you fuck them, how many people you fuck. I just don't give a shit. I can't be paid enough to give a shit. But in combat, things are a little bit different than in day-to-day life. If in day-to-day life you decide to take testosterone and you have your artificial penis and with a pump on it and stuff like that, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. But if you are in combat, for those purposes, you are still biologically female. And I don't believe that females should serve in combat roles. Call me old-fashioned all you want. I do believe that the military should effectively be a brotherhood. Auxiliaries and militia, they can be female. Generally, the main Corps, Marine Corps, Army, and so forth, those should be all male. And this is for several reasons. One, females are valuable, not just to the nation, but in general. I love females, a little too much sometimes. The irony is I'm arguing for women's rights here. I would assume that the misogynists would want the females to go off and get killed. Number one, females are too valuable in multiple ways. They can generate life. They do all sorts of cool stuff. They don't get enough credit. Uh, there was a song by John Lennon, "Woman is the N-word of the world." Um, Kind of true, actually. And he was a fucking commie at the time, so, and Yoko probably made him make that song, but the idea is fundamentally true. There's a reason, for example, that we don't use child soldiers in the United States. We don't let 12-year-olds join the Marine Corps. And it ain't because they aren't agile. Have you seen a 12-year-old doing gymnastics or shit like that? God, they can outperform some people that are college age. As long as they can build some muscle mass, you can create super soldiers. Why don't we therefore put the kids in combat? Because we're trying to protect them. Because we realize that children are valuable. We realize that children should be kids. They shouldn't be shooting other people. I mean, unless it's in self-defense. There's one case, some middle schooler, a 13-year-old kid, shot a trespasser on the property that broke in while he was home alone, and he was praised as a hero. That's fine. But we don't draft them into combat. Why? That's the future generation. It's idiotic to think on any civic or even morally pragmatic level that we would draft child soldiers. It makes no sense from literally any perspective. We look down on regimes in the world that have child soldiers and say, well, you must be really desperate because that 10-year-old with the AK-47 there, it's kind of telling now about the stability of your regime. We do it for various reasons. Why are we drafting women into combat roles? So if it's a male to female transgendered individual, you're going to need special privilege above your fellow soldiers to do the dilation thing. Again, I don't have any moral complaint about it. I don't care if you have a neo-vagina. That's whatever, do whatever you want to do. But it's going to be an impediment to the combat readiness of the U.S. military, which I pay tax money to. If you're female to male, you're a female. I don't believe that women should be in combat roles. They are not capable of the same physical feats as men as an average. It's simply deleterious to combat readiness. Also, it's deleterious to the generation of new manpower necessary for the next generation. It's also beginning to hamper recruiting capabilities in the U.S. military. I have no doubt there are women that have gone through Marine training. Goddamn, if you can go through that training and actually survive, it doesn't really matter what gender you are. But women should not be on the front line. Again, call me old-fashioned. I consider myself more chivalrous and believe that women and children should be defended by men. That's just what I believe. That's a genuinely held belief that I happen to have. Apparently, society has lost sight of this. This was the norm for, a million fucking years and in virtually every civilization in the world. If women want to take combat training and drill and do all of these things and get swole, that's fine, but they shouldn't be put on the front line. That's about all. Peace out.